Hi guys, this is episode 1 of summer. So for summer we're gonna have lots of things. We're gonna have, most importantly, fun. We're gonna have science. We're gonna have math. And we're gonna have mega experiments that you can do at home. So let's get started. Today's theme is math. And math might sound boring, but today it's gonna get crazy. So let's get started. Okay, so you all probably know the number 1, but do you know the number 10? Yeah, most likely. Do you know the number 100? Yeah. Do you know the number 1,000? 1 million? 1 billion? Maybe even 1 trillion. But do you know what comes after that? Well, trillion is such a big number that in your whole entire lifetime, you wouldn't even be able to count it. And we're going much, much bigger than that. Yeah. So, get ready. Okay, so let's start with actually 1 even. And if you add 1 more 0, then it's 10. 1 more, 100. 1 more, 1,000. Now we go by adding 3 zeros. Add 3 more zeros, 1 million. 3 more, billion. And 3 more is trillion. We talked about trillion earlier. But if you add 3 more, that's quadrillion. Yeah, that's a big number. And then you can just add 3 more. That's sextillion. And 3 more, septillion. And that's a lot of zeros. But we're going to keep going. Next comes octillion, then nontillion. Now it starts to get big because nontillion is already like more pieces. Like if you were to count that much, it would take you over 1 million years to count that much. So yeah, you probably get the point that we're gonna get much bigger. So let's continue. Okay, now we're gonna skip all the way, which is not too far, but we're gonna skip to Gogol. And while you may know, or you may not know, that Gogol has 100 zeros. Only 100 is a pretty small number. But Gogol is such a big number. You know how if you search on Google, there's like 1 billion searches you can do? Like 1 trillion, so much, right? Well, Google was named after Gogol because there are so many searches. And Gogol is such a big number. If you were to use every single paper on Earth, you would be able to fit it. Yeah, you weren't expecting that. You would probably expect me to say, oh, you wouldn't be able to fit it. But it only has 100 zeros, so 101 digits, because there's a 1 at the beginning. So, if you think about it, yeah. But do you know there's a number that has Gogol zeros? Yeah. And that number is Golplex. It's such a huge number, like I was saying earlier, that if you were to write it on everything actually in the universe, on every wall, every paper, every computer, you would not be able to fit it. Because first of all the computers would just glitch and they would all just like break and they can't hold that much. And nothing is enough because it's such a big number. It has so many zeros. And this number would take more than 1 trillion years, more than like 1 quadrillion years to actually count up to, alright? And, well, that is not the end, because numbers are gonna get bigger and bigger, and Googleplex actually is more than the number of atoms, like dust particles in the world, like the whole entire universe actually. So just imagine, and we're gonna go more. And any more than this is so big that there's these people called Googleologists that actually thought of these numbers. So next comes Googleplex, or in other words, Googleplexian, which is just so big you can't even think about it. Like when Googleologists were thinking of that number, it was so big that they could never write it down fully. They would just have to say 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 10, and on and on. So yeah, and we're gonna go so much bigger than that. And we're almost reaching an end though. So bigger than that is Google Duplex. Bigger than that is Google Quadruplex. Bigger than that is these things that don't make any sense because they're too big to be understood, is called Tree 3. Bigger than that is called Little Bigodon. And bigger than that is called Big Bigodon, which is also called Bigfoot. Funny names. And then even bigger than that is Sasquatch, which means like a big hairy beast. So I don't know why they named it that, but yeah. And you can, and numbers would never still stop because you can always add 1. Like what about Sasquatch and 1, Sasquatch and 2? You can just keep going on. Then you can go much, much further.